All right. Peace, peace. All right, peace, everyone. Peace, Chief. All right. So here we are. We are on Constantine. Um, mind you, Constantine's a very interesting name, just for the simple fact that the first, Roman Emperor Constantine is the one who basically legalized um, Christianity in the Roman Empire. He also unified the Roman Empire because at one time it was also an Eastern Roman Empire. He also created, founded the city of Constantinople, and he presided over the first night, Council of Nicaea. There was more than one ecumenical councils. You know what I'm talking about? And let's see, and already Siskashia. And so my name is Precious. Um and so, you know, everybody just pays attention to, the one Nicene Council. They don't pay attention to the others because a lot of edicts and church uh rules and uh things like that were founded, basically at these councils. But we're talking about the comic book. It's by DC. Um, John Constantine, which is the character's name, um, was got his first appearance in the DC comic Swamp Thing, issue 25. June 1984, and well, Swamp Thing is cool, but he was created by a bunch of writers, but one significant one was Alan Moore. He created a bunch of good comics like Watchmen, and he did good with Swamp Thing, as well, and just a bunch of good comic books if you ever read them. But Constantine also has his own comic book, which is called Constantine. Um, and he's also got another one called Hellblazer as well. You know, yeah, he also did V for Vendetta. Aki Antonio for sure. Like I said, he's done a lot. He's done a whole lot. But yeah, it's a lot of deep. I guess a lot of things in this movie. You know what I'm saying? One thing we start off with is that they talk about the spirit of destiny. You know, um, for those who don't know, when they reference this spirit of destiny, what they're really talking about is, as I know it, the spear of Longinus. And what that is basically that is the spear that pierced um, Christ's side when he was hanging on the cross. Well, during the crucifixion, right? Because you have to understand something about the crucifixion. The crucifixion, being crucified is a long, painful, torturous death. You don't die quick during the crucifixion. You know, um, another a prime example of this is during the Spartacus revolt, and they crucified, the rebel slaves, up and down. I want to say the Appian Way, but up and down the Roman road. They didn't die. They didn't die quick, but they pierced, they pierced, Christ's side, basically to have him bleed out so he can die quickly, and the Roman centurion that held that spear and pierced his side was called Longinus. He would later convert to Christianity and whatnot. And he's also been made a saint. I don't know, but I don't know these things. But yeah, he's also a saint in Catholicism. But that's a little bit on the spirit of Longinus. It's said to have, it's a holy relic. There would be at least three um, um, spears that the Vatican or the Catholic Church has, but authenticity really hasn't been proven. So it all depends on what you go to. But they talk about the spear. You see the spears in Mexico, and you see, the guy, gets hit by a car, gets up like nothing happened, and it keeps going. Yeah, shalom, Abu. So we see also John Constantine. He's exorcising a demon from a little girl, right? And he speaks Latin. I for me, it's interesting if you pay attention, how a lot of movies and TV shows, when it deals in magic and things of that nature, the root um, words or magical words are all in Latin. That's not a coincidence. But for me, it's like, why? Why Latin? When they're older languages. But yeah, my question is, how did it wind up in Mexico? Yeah, brother Antonio, that wouldn't make any sense unless, hmm, unless, well, I don't know. I, I don't know. Maybe the conquistadors had it, but that don't make no sense either. But I can't tell you. I don't know. Look, it's a comic book. Take it for what it's worth. But he speaks Latin to the demon inside of her, and what was interesting is he traps the demon inside a mirror and then throws the mirror off the back, and he breaking the mirror. You know. Now, um, mind you, um, the demon is actually still alive in a sense. You can say that Constantine trapped um, its spiritual form inside the mirror, and then broke the mirror, sending it back to hell, you know, which I found interesting. It took me a minute to think about that, but then I had to, rethink it and pay attention, and then think about um, all that went on in the movie to actually come to that conclusion. you know Now, mind you, Constantine is basically they say like a exorcist detective or cult detective or whatnot. I saw him, at least in this movie, I saw Constantine as being basically Earth's INS agent. Really, I was like, Islamic, Islamic. What was it? IMA, INS, IMS. I forget the acronyms for immigration, but yeah, he's basically an immigration agent. Talk about why do you think the mirror was used? I think that the mirror was used because of the superstition that was always held with mirrors and cameras, that they could trap souls. You know, at least among the indigenous historical, reference that I've always um, found out. People didn't like mirrors in some parts of the world because they was afraid of their soul being trapped in them. So I thought the same thing with with the demon. It didn't like mirrors because of the reflection of its own self. Therefore trapping it, I guess. And that's why I think the mirror was used. But so uh yeah, so he does that, and then we meet Angie, and we she's having well Angela, she's having a nightmare, but not a nightmare. Um, I saw it as the spirit needing a physical vessel to exist in the physical plane, so it was transferred to another vessel that didn't mind being destroyed. I thought the same thing, Aki Antonio. The 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 thing was that I I based it on the rationale that he deports things back to hell. So that doesn't mean that they're dead. I that's why I say he's immigration. So I figured he broke the mirror, basically to deport the demon back to hell because that's what he does. you know. So that's how I got. Now I did think, yeah, you go through a human body to get probably a physical form, in that sense. But but at the same time, if that shade or whatever is trapped in a mirror and it breaks, that doesn't mean you're necessarily dead in this sense. It just means he's doing his job and deporting the demon soul, the demonic soul, back down the hill where it belongs. Um, I think the mirror was a portal to hell. Hmm. Well, ah, because if it was a portal back to hell, it would. Well, yeah. mhm. I guess. um, it's hard for me to say because it's like if it was a portal back to hell, then why would it be trapped? It would just go back, it would just go back to hell. So that's why it's like, but I guess once it broke, then it became that portal. But yeah, it's very interesting that in movies, a woman is always under possession of demons. Yeah, because she sure was having her exorcist moment, you know. Um, yes, all that as a parasite, not being able to survive without a host. Yeah, me too. Aki Antonio. But he saved she Angela is having a nightmare, but it's not really a nightmare. Basically, she's astral traveling, but through her connection of her sister Isabel, because she's a twin, so you're going to see um, twins play out in this movie. Like and share unless you just like talking, unless you like taking people who offer value to your life for granted, and you are too insecure to share some of your timeline spotlight sparkle emoji. you know I'm just that they give thanks chief for that, what I'm talking about, but it's just that you put parentheses sparkle emoji. Just so it's okay, but the fact that he just sparkle emoji parentheses, it's like, but it's okay, different generation, but it's just cool, you know. Look, there you go, Sister Shia. You know that the younger ones do it, you know. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you get the notifications on everything that's on Enlightenment and Transformations, right? But we see Isabel, her twin, you know, she suicides herself from the hospital, from the psychiatric hospital, Catholic psychiatric, psychiatric hospital that she's in, and she dies. And then we find out that John has lung cancer, because he's a chain smoker. You know, um, one thing you should know about John Constantine is he's not American. Keanu Reeves can't pull it off, but actually he's British. You know, he's British, and and at least in the comics he's blonde. But he's British. And where is he from, or where was he born? Liverpool. And you know, Liverpool has a connection with those of us in the Malfa, because that's one of the British slave ports. You know what I'm talking about? But that's how they made their money. you know. So that's something you should remember. But yeah. And So we see John, and he has a so-called apprentice, named Chaz. In the comic books, Chaz is a grown person. That's his best friend. You know what I'm talking about? But in the movie, he's a kid, a young adult, and he drives him around in a taxi, basically being John's chauffeur and whatnot. And he's he wants to be like John. You know what I'm talking about? And we see John basically go to, like, I would say a diocese or whatever, Catholic diocese, or a church. And as well as Angela, she goes to see a father that knows her. And John goes to see uh and well a half angel called Gabriel. you know um And while Angela is meeting with the father, asking, the priest, asking her, asking him, if her sister can have funeral rights, because in at least historically in Catholic culture, suicides, are, an abomination, or, heresy, what I'm saying, whatever. You didn't bury a suicide in a in a in a graveyard, or a hallowed graveyard, a holy graveyard. You were built burying them some and some part along the crossroads. You never you know they were not allowed to be buried, or have funeral rights, historically. But yeah, and he denies, Isabel that, while John is meeting with Gabriel, right? And he's asking, he's dying and he wants more time, and he's like, haven't I served enough? You know what I'm saying? And he calls Gabriel a half-breed. So to explain that, you have to understand that, in this world, what I'm talking about, ain't full-blooded angels and full-blooded demons are not allowed on earth. You know what I'm saying? But they have, half demons and half angels that are allowed on earth, but the full ones are not permitted on, on earth, So he calls them half breeds, right? Calls her half breed. You know what I'm saying? But she says that he must atone, and repent for the life he took. Now, here's where you have to understand about the comic. John is actually a twin, right? Now, when they talk about the life he took, what they're talking about is actually John strangled his twin brother in the womb. Well, the twin in the womb, because I don't really know if it was another guy, or another brother, but if memory serves me correct, but he strangled him, right? You know what I'm talking about? And he strangled him in the womb, and his mom died during childbirth, which strained his relationship with his father, you know, um, because he blamed John, and in the comic book version, um, John is descended from a bunch of magic users, um, but in the movie they don't go into that, And then sometimes, you can't always trust comic books because they retcon a lot of stuff, as time goes on, and they reissue the same character, you know. Um, but yeah, very interesting casting choice for Gabriel. It always is, but we have to have um diversity, I guess, So yeah, but that's what she means when you must atone for the life he took, you know. And they don't talk about it, or you don't know. Um yeah, basically when they write themselves into a corner. Exactly, Ike Antonio. So, he's going to die, but he feels like, but Gabriel's like, you really haven't done, any self sacrifice. That's what we're looking for, self sacrifice. Um, yeah, yeah. Sister Kashia. But after that scene, we see Isabel naming Constantine in a video that Angela's watching of her, a security camera, you know, and she names Constantine in the video. You know what I'm talking about? And so basically, she's going to go look for Constantine. But meanwhile, John is battling uh full-fledged demon on, as I say, Figueroa. That's a street in LA that you hear a lot, Figueroa. I can't tell you what's really on there. Is that the Well, we go there. um it might be, what's Figueroa, a track? I don't know. Remember, well, I ain't gonna figure it out. But John, one thing that you see in this, he sees a crow, he sees a rat, then he sees a crab, then you see roaches and snakes, on the demon and whatnot. It was very interesting, and so after that, John goes to see Papa Midnight, right, at a club called Midnight's that has all, the demons and half breeds or whatever. They're all congregating and drinking and whatnot. I saw the crab and I thought about his cancer. Yeah, right. Um, I saw those things being just one word: pestilence. Don't ask me why. When that demon came in there, I just thought pestilence. you know, I thought of unclean things too, Sister Deidre, but one word: pestilence. It just kept on in my head. pestilence. Don't ask me why, right? But he goes to Papa Midnight, and it's like, I need to use this chair, and he's like, no, you can't use the chair. You on your way out anyway, and we have then we find out the rules, basically, of this world about, demons, stay in hell, angels stay in heaven, you know what I'm saying? And like Papa Midnight's club is like Switzerland, it's neutral territory, you know. But you can sort of say that Earth maybe is a demilitarized zone or whatever, where you have a standoff, in heaven and hell, but that's the demilitarized zone. It's sort of like I want to say North and South Korea, but that's probably a bad example. But I thought of Beelzebub, often being translated as the Lord of Lies. That too, Brother Antonio. But peace, Sister Manir. And so, Papa Midnight is supposed to be this. He calls him a witch doctor, but he doesn't. He doesn't seem like one. He may look like it, but he don't seem like one. When you think about it and look at his mannerisms, um, but it's a movie, and we see Angela going to see John and asking about her sister's death and it being a suicide and whatnot, and he's like, well, you know um first they leave the apartment and then they're attacked, by demons, and John, uses fire to destroy them. um One thing, at least one element that's always brought up in this movie, one natural element is sulfur. And sulfur has always been also coined the term brimstone. So they're like, you smell that? I smell sulfur. Well, that explains it. Because hell has always been synonymous with what? Brimstone, sulfur. So when you burn a demon, you basically are going to smell what? Sulfur, brimstone. You know what I'm talking about? Even though sulfur is yellow or whatnot. And but the interesting thing is, if you burn sulfur, the flame is blue, but in the movie you don't see that. If you so To me it was like, okay, if you burn a person that's skin is basically probably riddled with sulfur, then their body should burn blue, as they're burning. But you don't see that. But that's a little bit of science for you. Um, but yeah, but he talks to Angela and tells her, God and the devil made a bet for the influence of souls. You know what I'm saying? Um, Pretty much. And that was interesting because I thought about it. I was like, don't that always seem to be the case? Like, if you actually read the Bible, don't it seem like they always making a deal or something, or they waging something, like what is this? Job? Like, you could say, oh, that's a bet. Yeah, they always bet against each other, I bet you can't do this. I bet you can't do that. you know. but 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 that was interesting, And so uh John says, basically, suicides go to hell. So if you say that your sister is not a suicide, but there's only way to find out, is to go to hell itself and see if she's there. And that's what John does. He travels to to hell, um and finds out that Isabel is a suicide. You know what I'm saying? But um, he goes prepared. But what's interesting, pretty much, is the well, one, using the use of chairs, and how he uses it is soaking his feet in water. You know, and what I thought of as well is another version of um, don't ask more. Another version of the electric chair. You know what I'm saying? Because why would you need to soak your feet in water unless you was being electrocuted? Water conducts electricity. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that I thought of. It being a pseudo electric chair to transport that person into hell. You know, but yeah, and so uh we see Father Father Hennessy. He's like he helps Johnny, and he tracks down demons, and for John, and he tracks down Isabel, and basically he tracks her down at the morgue, and he looks at her body and sees a symbol that's scarred into her body, in a sense, and he's basically being tracked by a demon, and he tries to drink, because he's an alcoholic, and he tries to drink, but he can't drink. you know, he tries to drink, but he can't drink. Then all of a sudden, he drowns to death in liquor. Basically, the demon that was tracking him, basically, he basically chokes him, with, I would say it was brown liquor, chokes him with Hennessy. That's what I thought of, what I'm talking about. Chokes him with Hennessy. Water is often depicted as an element of unknown or vehicle travel. Yeah, yeah, and they go into that as it being the conduit for a portal. You know what I'm saying? But I want to say that later on. But yeah, it's always been seen as a vehicle of travel. You know what I'm saying? Uh, So after that, um, John tells Angela his story about how he got his powers. It said that he got his powers through a near death experience. You know what I'm saying? Where like I said in the comic book, he always had his powers. Born basically born with him because he's descended from magic users and things of that nature. Um, I was wondering about the scene. Like, was he making him think he was drinking when he actually was? Um, I didn't think that brother Antonio. I thought it's basically playing out his own vice, using his own vice against him. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't drink, but from the inside of his body, he's literally, his lungs are filled with liquor. It's, I guess it's hard for it to explain. I'm not explaining it well, but that's what I thought of. Where he tried to drink is not going in, is not really going into his mouth. You could probably say it's going somewhere else, his lungs. you know, to suffocate him and choke him. That could be it. But after that, he tells her his story and whatnot. And John, after they find out, well, Father Hennessy is dead. They see his body and see the marking that he drew on his hand. You know, um, John inspects Isabel's room, and he tells Angela, "Well, you're her twin. You know what she knows, and what did you what um things that y'all do. What does she want you to learn? Basically, no. What do you know that she would know? And she's like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden she remembers, they would hide messages on basically in the window where you have to basically, exhale out and, fog up the window and then see the message that they left, right? And that's what happens. And then we find out that basically what's going on is that there's a prophecy of the son of the devil called Mammon. He's trying to usurp the throne from the devil, and the only way he can do that is he has to fulfill, basically get a psychic. Um, he has to get the blood of a god, you know, which that's what the spirit Longinus has, you know. Um, so he has to fulfill the conditions in order if he wants to rule not only hell but also basically uh, portal himself into on earth, because demons can't go. But if you fulfill these requests, you can basically portal yourself on earth and basically reign over earth, as well as portal demons on earth so you can reign on earth, you know. So Angela finally tells John that she could see, or she was psychic like her sister, but the thing was she denied her gift, and then all of a sudden she couldn't see it no more, and I thought about that, and it's like, well, she had that gift was part of her purpose, and she denied that. That's why she couldn't use it anymore, you know. And when she says, "I want to see what she saw again," I sort of saw, that whole scene, where John says, why there's a conduit, and it lubricates the, transition from one plane to another, and they use the bathtub. I saw it, you know, as a baptism, you know, as especially how the way they camera, well, they showed the camera like you would in most baptisms, right? But I thought about it because here's a person that lost their sight, so now they have to be rebaptized into the to that psychic type of order, to get that sight back. But also I saw the birthing, the death and the rebirth, because she has to have like John a near death experience in order to basically get the sight back again. You know, I saw that. Yeah, but brother Antonio, that's what I thought, man. That was the point. The point was to drown her to have a near death for spirits to give her back the sight. It may take a few minutes. I'm not gonna tell you now about to drown you, but you know, maybe I was thinking too much into it. But that's me watching the cinematography of it. You know what I'm talking about? But kind of reminds me of Chief's encouragement segment when you stop hearing the voice of the Most High. Yeah, that could be it. You know what I'm talking about? And but yeah, brother Antonio, hey, she was being drowned, but at the same time, hey, you gotta get, jumped back in, if you want the gift back, But she gets it back, you know what I'm talking about. And we see John fighting Balthazar, and he interrogates him, and we see Angela being taken, what I'm saying. And so John goes back to Papa Midnight, asking him to use the chair. And the chair is actually, uh, an electric chair from Sing Sing Prison. And Sing Sing Prison is in New York. It's a famous prison. A lot of famous gangsters went to Sing Sing. It's rather old, but there was a time, where the electric chair was used in the United States and in prisons. um, after after they done away with hangings. You know what I'm talking about? After they done away with hangings, you know. So yeah, but I found that very interesting, and they were talking about how 200 souls, died, went through this chair, you know, and mind you, they don't go whether they were good or bad. They just say 200 souls. I found that interesting. You had what you know what, brother Antonio? You had one job, stay in the car. This chick, she gone on her feminist rant because she think she every woman and it's all in her. What I'm talking about. And she can do everything with her dang on gun. Mind you, we already know guns don't help. But she thought she could do wonders with just her gun. And what did she do? She ends up losing the talisman. What's interesting is about that talisman is it's an Irish Celtic symbol of the Trinity. You know, that made me think as well. That Celtic symbol. You see those symbols. If you pay attention to certain cultures. You know what I'm saying? That's one you see a lot. You know what I'm talking about. And you see that often in films where the abilities are dormant within the character. Shock or fear brings the abilities out as protection, or in the case, remember, yeah. Um, she took the gun and left her vest. Yeah, basically that was the vest. She's like, you gonna leave, you never leave the vest. You know what I'm saying? You keep the Kevlar on, You- but she thought she was just men. She ain't like Kine and they go, Golden Child. At least that girl can fight. She beat the mess out of them gold dragons. And then did I tell you? I told you to stay in the car. I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna turn this into a lecture. But next time I tell you stay in the car, you do it. It's a man's thing. But anyway, but yeah, she and what happened? She ends up getting kidnapped. It's like you didn't do nothing. You didn't help this mission at all. You only have one mission. Just stay in the car because you don't know what you're doing. No way. You know what I'm saying? But after that, you know what I'm saying. We see she had the great equalizer. Well, in this case, that wasn't the equalizer in the demon realm. That provided no protection. you know, um, Armed with no faith and a gun. Exactly. That faith was not working. It was dead, man. It was just, that was a BB gun. Yeah, yeah. In that realm, you might, you know, what is this? Whatever. But after that, we see John. They go back to the hospital because he goes back to the hospital to save Angela. Um, and we see his apprentice Chaz comes with him. He making bullets and whatnot, coming with some knowledge about certain things. But like I said, what was interesting is that like I said, once again, you have Papa Midnight basically praying over him, right? And he's praying in Latin. But your name's Papa Midnight. And you're supposed to be a voodoo witch doctor, and you're praying in Latin. You'd be better off with. Well, anyway. um, So exactly. See, might as well. She would have done more with the water gun if it was, hey, she could have got a super soaker. John got a bunch of holy water at his house. You got to pump it up. You got the water pressure, aim and fire. She could have done what she look. Get one of those super soakers XP 250s, bruh. Or get one of them super soakers with the dago pack. Get the holy water on them. Pump it up. Hey, you would have done better. You better damage. Like what? Look, get a super soaker, some holy water balloons. I mean, bruh. Like really, you could have done better with that. But it is what it is. You know. So some of us playing outside. Hey, it is what it is. Holy water balloon. Hey, look, brother Antonio, that just popped in my head. Look, he got, Hinkley, you know, um, water jugs at his house. Man, you can look, fill a water gun up with holy water. Look, make some holy water balloons. Hey, you said you said dang, that's just me and my kitty by. But yeah, um, but Isabel has a demon inside, but actually she has um Momo inside of her, right? And we find out that the person that's doing all this, the one working behind the scenes, is Gabriel. Gabriel's the traitor. You know what I'm saying? Um, and while Gabriel's trying to basically complete the ritual of bringing forth Momo, into onto Earth. You know what I'm saying? Through Angela. You know what I'm saying? John slits his wrists. Basically commits suicide, and Lucifer, comes to claim his soul because Lucifer is the one who is said to John's soul is the one that he will actually come, back to the basically the realm of Earth to claim. You know what I'm saying? John's you know already we know John's going to hell, but it's like it's like cops that go to prison, dirty cops that go to prison. You don't put away all these all these inmates, and now you in there with them. You, that prison life ain't gonna be good to you, bro. And same thing in this scenario. you know John's been denying, and killing, deporting demons back to hell constantly, constantly, constantly. So, he's like, okay, well, I'm going to claim you once you die. You know what I'm saying? Um, and John tells him, hey, your son's in the next room. He's like, yeah, well, he's trying to be born and take, basically usurp your throne, you know. Constantine, the eternal shanking. Right, bro. And Lucifer looks in the next room, sees all of that because time has stopped, and before Gabriel can basically stab Angelo with the spirit Longinus or the spirit destiny. Um, Lucifer stops all of it, takes a hold of Angela, well, basically, his son, which you can only see in the water or mirror. Um, and he's like, me and my son is going home. And then he takes his son back down the hill, but then comes back. It's like, I'm going to get John now. You know what I'm saying? But he's like, okay, I did this for you. John's like, let Isabel go up to heaven and you'll get me. You know what I'm saying? Goes to show that there are checks and balances everywhere. The entire operation was set down that quick. Exactly. I the same would be said for the other side, heaven side. And so once that happens, once John self-sacrifices himself for another, you know, he's instantly given the right to go to heaven. And as he's going to heaven, well, we gonna say, well, the pearly gates open up for him. He's flipping off, the devil and whatnot. And Lucifer's like, "Oh no, you ain't going nowhere." And he snatches him back, you know, back down to earth and takes out his cancerous lungs. Like, oh no, you gonna live for a long time. You gonna live for a long time, and I'm gonna get your soul. You know. Um, and basically in that scene, there's balance. Basically, oh, he ain't going yet. Nah, I'm gonna fix this. You ain't gonna cheat me out of my out of my kill. You know what I'm talking about? But there's a constant theme in the film that heaven and hell are existing closer than it is conventionally believed. Yeah, yeah, I would say that. Ike Antonio, it's not a, it's it's closer than you think, but like John's always said, there has to be balance. There has to be balance. There's always balance. You know what I'm saying? Um, you guys, yeah, and Gabriel, um, got punished with being human. No longer has wings, and whatnot. Basically, got ostracized. Basically, failed. But not in the sense of an angel in heaven falling, to earth or hell or anything, but just made human. Because it was a half breed anyway. But then, with that whole half breed situation, I was wondering, well, what what was the other part anyway? What other half? We know the demon half, we know the heaven half, but what was that other half? Then it made me think of, she talks about, Nephilim and whatnot, lying down with, the women of earth and things of that nature. I thought about that. Um, it got stuck on earth going off on a tangent from the plan. yeah, yeah, but you know what? Coming from someone that made of clash and cultures. Yeah, but you know what, sister Deidre, look, she's going off on a tangent, go, from the plan and whatnot, and then she's like, yes, like she done succeeded in making John into a stand up person. You see that, John? You see that? You did it. You see his works. It's like you just cheat, you just got in trouble, you just failed, and all of a sudden you like, mission complete, mission accomplished. I did my work. It's like, bruh, really, you know. Now all of a sudden, Gabriel's suicidal, taking all the stuff about, talking all that stuff about rules and balance until it's applied to them. Yeah, just kill me, just kill me. It's like, yeah, because that makes probably that would probably be an unrighteous kill for John anyway. You know, um, try to get back up top. Yeah, 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 and she knew that. You know, but after that, John leaves and whatnot with Angela, and John gives Angela the spear. And they have a little flirtatious moment like they always do, John goes back to work, you know, and basically that's the end, you know. So it was a cool, you know, movie and whatnot. It's been a long time since I've seen it, and it just made me, you know, research more about the comic book, you know, because I didn't know, you know, John was English and be that as it may from Liverpool, you know, and whatnot. Um, Shoot, another uh comic that is in Justice League Dark, where he hails that Justice League squad, and that's nothing but, you know, magicians and things of that nature, you know. So yeah, man. But a lot of Catholic lore and things of that nature that you have to pay attention to, you know. So it was good in that sense, you know, sitting there charged. Yeah, you know, your wings are gone, you know, all that's left is bone, and here you are like, yes, we did it. See, John, growth. It's like you just got kicked out, you know. It's like, man, um you just got your wings clipped. And here you are like, yes, crisis averted. And look, I have given Scrooge a soul or something like that. I don't know, man. You know what I'm talking about. But it is what it is. But yeah, you know, that's that. Um with burn up feet. Yeah, burn up feet. Yeah. Um and punched. Go on so what? Yeah, see. But that's Constantine, man. Um Next week we are doing yeah, Zatanna, his love interest. It was a cool character. Um Her father was an escape artist who taught Batman the art of escape tactics. Yeah, Zatanna is one of his love interests, but you know, we ain't gonna talk about his other dissexual stuff that he be doing. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah. Um, so, but yeah, Zatanna gets the most play. You know. um, Next week, well, next strong, sorry, next strong, we have the movie Tana, you know, and we're going to talk about basically um family lineages and marriage and stuff, you know, where it goes wrong. That's gonna be interesting. But we're doing it from the melanated side of the game, you know. But we taking it to the Pacific, you know, with Papua New Guinea, you know, that culture, you know what I'm talking about. And we gonna get into some tribal marriage, you know, and whatnot, you know, and see how that fares, you know, you know, on that side of the game, you know. That's going to be very interesting. I'm you know, interested and looking forward into it, you know, because you don't see a lot of movies from that part of the world, especially dealing with them. You know what I'm saying? So that should be very good and very interesting. You know, so I can't wait. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, man. You know, um, so that's that's all. That's all that we have for you tonight. You know what I'm saying? Um, and whatnot. So give thanks to everybody. Give thanks for showing out. So join us tomorrow. Where we have Genesis Part 3. You know, we gonna get into the real Genesis. You know, um, and whatnot, and that should be interesting. So remember to study. You know, study. You know, study that chapter. You know, and see what sticks out, and in your own mind and whatnot. And oh, shout out to Sister Deirdre. She interviewed Miss Natasha. You know what I'm saying? And like 2 hours ago. you know that was cool. You know, um, so I got to big her up. So give thanks everybody, and we will see y'all next strong. So have a good rest of your strong. You know what I'm talking about, and we'll get back at it again. You know what I'm saying? So peace everybody, and give thanks. Oh, here comes she with the dang buzzer beater. Okay. Why was Constantine called the Bloody Emperor? Okay. Constantine was called the Bloody Emperor, well, because he went to war so many dang on times. For one, he killed so many dang on, he killed many of his family members. I mean, people, did oppose his rule at one time. So, he killed a bunch of people. Not only that, even though, he legalized Christianity and whatnot, he also, I guess you could say, came up with the stereotype or the persecution of Jews. Well, persecution of Jews at that point in time, especially basically during the founding of Constantinople. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, put up those fighter fun facts. Yeah, you know. So basically, calling them like they say, calling them Christ killers. That's where they always got that from, because they got it from Constantine. That's what he called them. But he went to war so many dang on times. Because the West was fragmented. You know what I'm saying, as well as like what his uncle wanted to rule at one time. I remember certain correct. Um, but yeah, man. Um, what was the inscription that he dreamt of inside of the Christian cross? Ooh, chief. All I can remember is that they go P and X right now. But I know what you're talking about, because that's the battle of the the bridge of Martin, bridge of Marion. Where he dreams that Christ tells him, paint this paint the cross. Well, it wasn't the cross, but it was the man. What was that? Jingles. I I can't remember. I can't remember, but it was on the shield. But I can't remember the inscription. Uh, you got me this time, bro. I can't remember. I can't remember. I really can't. But yeah, um, uh, but I know what you're talking about, because yeah, that did happen. But I can't remember the dang inscription. Uh, Signal Vincis. Oh, in hawk, signal Vincis, Vinces. My Latin was never good, so but yeah, the only, the only, the only thing I'm thinking of is Deus Vult. Sometimes, all the time, know. But yeah, in this sign thou shalt conquer. Yeah, see, but you will still see that sign. Um, you will still see that symbol in Catholicism. You know, um, still to this day. You know, um, looks. I call it the PX, but that's not what it's called. But I call it the PX. I think you're referring to the Battle of Milvian Bridge. Yes, gee, that's what I forgot the name. But yes, I'm talking about that battle, you know. But yeah, because I remember that dream and I remember the symbol. I always remember the symbol, you know. But I couldn't remember the inscription. I couldn't remember that. But yes. So um the symbol of the cross became known as the sign of honor, imperialism, and colonialism. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was, it's on a lot of night symbols, shields, you know, even swords, and inscriptions on swords, it was used as a tool to conquer, you know what I'm saying? Not only that, you got to remember it was Constantine that built the Church of St. Peter and Church of the Holy Sepulchre. You know what I'm saying? Also, another fun fact: he was raised in Nicomedia, in Turkey. Just need to make sure you are on your. Of course, but I can't. Sometimes I can't remember everything, everything. you know. Um, but yeah, I do remember that. You know. Um, Sometimes it just the words slip my mind. Can't remember every battle or every inscription, unless it's ingrained in my memory like that, But um, yeah, man, that pagan made Christianity hot. Yeah, But those are some fun facts about Constantine. Oh, he dies in 327 AD. Um, that's another fact. That's another fun fact. Yeah, it should be 327. 337. Oh, my bad. It's 337. Um, and what else? He built the sepulcher. He built the St. Peter. He builds another church, but I couldn't remember the name. Um, so I already told you he built Constantinople. Um, it's amazing how the Eastern Roman Empire last longer than the West, but it is what it is, because he moves the capital. He moves the capital from Rome to Constantinople, you know. But yeah, some more Christian, some more history lessons right there. So yeah, give thanks to Chief, keep me on my keep you on my historic square, you know. Always fun, always a pleasure, what I'm talking about, you know. So I give thanks, Chief, So, you never know when that's gonna happen, So always have your head on the swivel. So already. So but look, we'll see you next round, you know what I'm talking about, and we'll get into Tana, you know what I'm saying? And we'll have fun with it, So give give thanks everybody. Bevakasha, and see you next strong.